Hello, this is cybersecurity expert Reginald Andre. I'm located in Miami, Florida, and I want to talk to you today about Apple warning all of its users about a security flaw that is affecting your iPhones, your iPads, and Mac. So if you have a business or even personal and you're running any type of Apple device, you're going to want to listen up to basically know what to do and to understand why this is so important. So Apple is urging people to update their OS X as soon as possible because there's a security flaw, and we're talking about iPads, Macs, iPhones that could allow the hackers to take complete control of your device. So the same way where you can download an app, you can pay for something, you can check your emails, you can go on social media, all of the things that you're able to do because you're that administrator when you type in that password or the face recognition. With this exploit, a hacker can do the same thing, and they can even install things on that device, which will allow them to see what you're doing and to download your information. And this is because there's something called the kernel. And the kernel, in the most simplest way, is the underlying code of the operating system. And that's what runs the phone. And then there's also something called a WebKit, which is the underlying code of Safari. So there's a vulnerability in all of this code where, because Apple, I don't want to say messed up because this is a common thing. There's millions of lines of code on these devices, and there's flaws. Nobody's perfect. These are humans writing the code. So what happens in the world, in the tech world, is that you have bad guys that are looking through these codes and looking for these type of vulnerabilities. And when they do find these vulnerabilities, what they call exploit them. They use it against Apple. So finally, maybe a bounty. A bounty is someone who is paid by Apple, usually third party, to look at this code and find problems. So finally, somebody found this problem. And what's concerning for me is because Apple is, and I quote, says, Apple is aware of a report that this issue may have been actively exploited. So Apple is saying we have cases where we know that the hackers are using this on people's phone and getting access to their phones and doing bad things. Now, for me, that's a big problem because when you set up your iPhone or you set up your Mac, what's the first thing that Apple asks you? Well, probably the first thing they ask you is your language. But after they ask you about your language, the next thing that they ask you is, what is your email? So if this is so important, why hasn't Apple just sent out a mass email to everybody and say, look, we already know what iOS you have. We already know what operating system you have. We have your email. You need to do this now. Click here so it can automatically be done. Also, you should also have your automatic updates, because if you have your automatic updates on, then that's going to, and your phone is charged, that's going to now push it. But there is a queue system. So what I want you to do is to go into your phone, go into your device. If it's an iPhone, you go to settings, and then you go to about, and then you go to updates. And if you have a Mac OS X, which is like a laptop, you go on the top left to the little Apple and then about this Mac and push update on both of those. Make sure that you push you do the updates. So we're talking iPhone 6s, iPad Air 2 and later, iPad 5th generation, iPad minis, iPod Touch, basically everything. If you have an iOS device, if you have an Apple device, go ahead and do the update. If you don't do the update, you're going to be vulnerable. If you do the update, you're going to be safe. Let me know if you have any questions, and let me have you hit the like button. If you hit the like button, that tells me that you went ahead and checked you checked your settings to make sure everything's okay. All right.